If you check out what's happening here, you do have some of the biggest projects we've ever seen, which is like this one with Lendlease and Google. So essentially, they're both scrapping plans for a $15 billion Silicon Valley development project. And we're not talking about like a few $1 million sprinkled here and there. We're talking about $15 billion. This is probably like the biggest project we've ever seen in the Bay Area, because we have projects in San Francisco that got canceled, which is a massive shame, like Hayes Points. If you check out this place, empty plot of land, it was supposed to be like this massive skyscraper that was supposed to be built, but nah, they canceled it because they couldn't find a single investor that will actually support this sort of development. Because if you guys don't know what's going on in the Bay Area, nobody's renting offices. Real estate prices are at all-time low. In fact, if you build housing, if you build commercial office space, malls, you're probably really dumb, and you're probably gonna be losing a lot of money, which is the reason why they're canceling on this $1.2 billion skyscraper. And they're also canceling on another skyscraper just around the corner called One Oak. And it's probably a smart decision given the fact that this tower right here in Nema, which used to be worth $500 million, is now being evaluated at $270 million, which is a little over half price off. So I kind of see why developers don't really want to build units anymore. And this really brings us back full circle to this massive construction plan. Google is no longer wanting to build this, right? If you check out what's going on here, Google has confirmed on Thursday that the company has ended agreement with the development partner, and they're no longer working on the 4 key campus sites. And these are huge sites. And it's going to include a massive campus on the west side of San Jose, which San Jose has been extremely dead. Now, San Jose is a very unique situation because there's not really like a huge homeless population. There's not really like a massive drug problem either in downtown San Francisco. I'm sorry, I meant downtown San Jose. Now, here's the thing about San Jose. It's so empty that nobody's here, right? The empty storefronts are there's about 80 of them, which is one of the highest I've ever seen. And San Jose, if you look at the downtown, it's really not that big compared to things like Oakland or Los Angeles or San Francisco. Like the downtown is honestly pretty small. So making a downtown west was actually a pretty fantastic idea, but now they're scrapping the project. We're also getting another one in Sunnyvale, and we should be giving a few ones in like Mountain View, which is where Google is headquartered. These are all fantastic locations in the Bay Area. But now we're seeing some of the fattest projects being canceled. And Google's like, we appreciate, Lendlease working with us, but we're not going to be making any more of these buildings. And they thought about building like 15,000 residential units with 25% of them being considered affordable. And they're not making it, right? They're not making these units at all. And this is a $15 billion deal that they should be doing the next 10 to 15 years to redevelop the company's land holdings in Silicon Valley. But of course, even Google is considering leaving San Francisco, with one of the latest being just pretty much moving one of their tech conferences to good old Las Vegas, the gambling capital of North America. Now, I know traditionally Las Vegas really isn't like your tech central type of area, but surprisingly, Las Vegas has a massive tech scene, right? Despite just being known for gambling like the Strip, Las Vegas has massive real estate transactions. They're having really big tech conferences. And you're seeing guys like Meta, Google, and IBM moving a lot of their assets and events to Las Vegas, because San Francisco is basically just the wild, wild west. Like, here's the thing, don't get me wrong, I like San Francisco, but come on, man. Like, the city looks like this half the time. I kind of see why many companies just don't want to be here anymore. And you may think it's only a San Francisco thing, but in fact, this is a situation that's happening in the rest of the Bay Area. Even some of the parts of the Bay Area that used to be traditionally very good is now being deserted. Less and less people are going there for work. And now we're also seeing less mortgage demand. All right, mortgage demand falls for a third consecutive month or week. But overall, we're seeing mortgage demand as low as 1995 levels. That's pretty bad, almost like 3 decades. So you have mortgage demand falling for 3 consecutive weeks, but it's way more than that. In fact, you could say mortgage demand has been falling ever since the beginning of this year. And we're going to be seeing less and less construction in places, for example, in San Francisco. So it's not just Sunnyvale, it's not Mountain View, it's not San Jose. But if you look at San Francisco for the first 2 quarters of last year and the years before that, they've always built about almost 1,500 units every 2 quarters. So almost 3,000 units per year. But these two first quarters, they only built 229 units. So the construction is down about 80 to 90%. And if you're telling me that San Francisco usually builds about 3,000 condos and apartments every year, and now they're only building roughly 500, that's a little disturbing, all things to consider. So you have this catastrophic type of real estate situation happening in the Bay Area. San Francisco's construction has basically halted. You have more foreclosures than ever before. And also Google, who thought about redeveloping the whole entire Bay Area with a massive check, is now bailing out. Because I think what the Bay Area really needs is big construction projects, get some companies coming in, get some people coming in. And of course, when it's so cool and when there's nobody around the area, of course, Google isn't going to spend $15 billion on this. That's a lot of money they could spend in other things. So Google has ended this contract, and one of the reasons why is in 2019, Google thought about hiring a huge wave of people. But then the pandemic hit and everything changed because the pandemic showed people that everyone could just simply work online, which is exactly what's happening. Working online is the massive trend right now, which is causing guys like Webull to absolutely collapse. It used to be hanging around the offices was cool, but now people just want to hang on Zoom. So WeWork just doesn't have a purpose anymore. And plus, you can't really brand yourself as a real estate company when you're mostly a landlord. So this is what happened to WeWork, 98% drop in the stock price. The price is tanked. It's filed for Chapter 11, foreclosed on a skyscraper, foreclosed on $250 million of loans, and probably going to be leaving around 1 million empty square footage in tiny little San Francisco. And just none of these things are good, right? If you go to the Bay Area, go to San Jose, nothing good is happening in San Jose. It's empty, over 80 storefronts, and many of these storefronts are getting more and more empty. I mean, even if you put like the little Google guy down on the streets of San Jose, you sometimes see more cars than people. I mean, look at how deserted some of these streets are, right? And this was actually filmed by the Google car in March of this year, 2023. You don't see anybody, despite this is supposed to be a strip filled of restaurants. But look at this. Every one restaurant, there's always like 2 empty storefronts. That's really disturbing, and you don't see a single soul on the street. I mean, look at some of the San Jose videos, and I kind of see why Google is abandoning this project. And a lot of these areas are becoming more and more empty because people are just moving online and working from home. So Lend-Lease, Google scraping these plans could be a good thing overall. But let's see what happens here. You know, maybe the Bay Area does some drastic changes. Maybe things will finally get better, but who knows? Thanks for watching, guys. Comment below and subscribe for more.